compliments I've gotten so far in the animation industry is that I'm what you can consider which means I can actually hold myself pretty well in any kind of task that I'm required to do. As a VisDev artist, I've mainly done
Backgrounds. Backgrounds are important for storytelling. They create atmosphere, mood, and help ground the viewer. We can establish certain expectations about a scene by its location. We can use them to frame our characters, to push the story forward using environmental storytelling.
To make simple lighting, identify a light source and use the polygon lasso tool to block out the surfaces which will be in shadow. Then add cast shadows by identifying the shape casting the shadow and how that would interact with the topology of the object being affected by the shadow. You can add simple gradients by selecting an area with the polygon lasso and then painting with a large brush with very soft edges.
As objects go away from you, shift their shading to make them have less contrast, less details, and blend in with the background more. Doing that will establish atmospheric perspective.
When painting, let's say, a room, I block in everything. I lasso tool my shapes, I keep it sort of clean from the start. I know where my light source is gonna be, and that determines how the shadows are gonna look. Then it's just a matter of figuring out the colors and values, etc. I have layers for this, and I'm confident that I can change anything specific that I want. But when it comes
To draw.
First, draw a box to indicate
create the overall perspective. Then segment it to build the body. Keep in mind that the box has to be long enough for all the wheels and doors. Then, build a greenhouse that tilts inwards. Next, find the wheel placement and draw in some ellipses.
Make sure the body is sitting correctly on the wheels. Most cars sit fairly low to the ground, so you can stop drawing cars like this, unless you're drawing a monster truck.
And now add some tapering to the body and greenhouse, and start dividing the forms with doors and paneling. And notice that even though I told you in the previous exercise to measure out distances with guides, my process only includes loose guides. When you become more familiar with drawing cars and car shapes, you won't need guides as much.
Now, add other body elements like bumpers and more body paneling. And keep in mind, it's okay to move things around when you're working. If there's not enough room for the doors, it's fine to extend the body. Just remember that when you move things, keep the perspective consistent.
Start building the front grille and add the headlights. Now it's time to just finesse things like doors and body panels and finish out the tires. Remember that they need to sit inside the wheel wells, but their exact placement can be up to you. If you're having a problem with placement, try to draw a guide so that you can see the alignment of objects.
Always flip your drawing over and look at its reversed appearance to check for errors. Good drawings look correct when mirrored.
And then just keep adding detail. It still needs hubcaps, side view mirrors, hood lines, trim, and wipers. And finally, you should add the interior. So a big shape for the dash, and then try to fit in the seats, ideally in good locations so they don't make any weird tangents. It's tough to fit everything in here accurately, so use your best judgment. You may have to cheat things for best clarity. Max, how do you make a... I just looked at a few of these and took certain elements from ones that I liked and combined them into my own design. I wanted this scene to feel serene, yet alien, so I made the landscape out of round shapes and then added some weird vegetation on top of that. And right here I moved this tree because it was getting clipped off the canvas in a weird way, creating a tangent.
Tangents are compositional elements that overlap in confusing or unsettling ways. Like when two shapes overlap just barely and create these confusing lines, it's better to have your shapes and character silhouettes be clear.
Okay, so now we can finish out these floating rocks and add some tones. And I made these foreground elements really dramatic so that along with the valley, they will help frame our composition.
Sometimes we shoot